Throughout this course, we covered a variety of principles and ideas when it comes to ethics taught by Dr. Bezzetta, who has a familiarity with making ethical decisions in the face of wrongdoing. And he was able to share his story and shed light on the decision making process he went through to come to the conclusion of standing up for what he believed in. And we also examined many other cases that were very similar to his. And one thing that really stood out to me was um, that we were put in situations where we had to share what kind of decision we would make in the face of wrongdoing or real tough ethical dilemmas, and we each student had to kind of share how they would make a decision, and it really opened my eyes to understanding there's no clear cut formula to making an appropriate decision, and really understanding the value of other people's perspectives. And moving forward into the business world, there's no doubt we'll all be in situations that are tough, and we'll have to make really difficult decisions, and really leaning on others around us and our colleagues to understand the most of the situation will set us all up for the best amount of success. Some specific ideas and theories we looked into were through the minds of Freud, Piaget, and Haidt. Freud believed in the thought that children take on morality characteristics of their parents in that natural upbringing. Piaget had a more staged development, going through 4 different stages of evolving over time based on age. Haidt believed in moral foundations that included care, fairness, liberty, loyalty, authority, and sanctity. We also looked into Kohlberg, who believed in the levels of cognitive moral development. He created this theory broken down into post-conventional, conventional, and pre-conventional. And about 80% of individuals fall into that conventional level of morality. In this stage, individuals are primarily making decisions based on status quo and kind of conforming to the culture around them. And this really stood out to me because I feel that in our specific culture is very individualistic, and it kind of is disguised. I feel like our culture is kind of disguised as everyone believes they would fall into that 10% post-conventional, that high level of making decisions primarily based on what's right and standing up for what they believe in. But according to Kohlberg's theory of moral development, only 10% of the population falls into that post-conventional bracket of stage 5 and 6, making decisions that are against the grain. And in Dr. Bezzetta's case, he very well stood in that post-conventional area when he was exposed to the information of the wrongdoing happening at Chrysler. And we also looked at many specific cases within corporate America, including Enron, Volkswagen, Wells Fargo, and a few others, and we were asked to present on them. I was tasked with Enron, where the culture was highly aggressive, and the entry level employees were tasked with, on the corporate side, were tasked with essentially falsifying. They were in sales, but essentially kind of falsifying those revenues, and any potential sale was put on the books as future gains. And this process increased the stock share of the stock price of Enron, and eventually it was a house of cards, and it all collapsed. And we looked at one specific individual within this case who was noted as the whistleblower, but she was able to kind of get away with some of the insider trading and insider information, as she as she sold off some of her shares. So my takeaway from that experience of looking into this case was, she's noted as this whistleblower, but at the same time, was able to make quite a bit of success out of her situation. Um, but that is just a little bit of what I've taken away from this course. I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to take this course and apply it to my future in the business world and in my personal life.